up, all my fight fans? This is Fight Week. We got UFC 281. We got ourselves the main event, the highly anticipated main event. We got Alex Pereira versus IZZY Adesanya. Yes, these guys have met before. I'm sure you guys have been following the documentaries, following the countdowns, following the embeddeds, following the press conferences, everything, you know it. These guys met twice in kickboxing. Alex Pereira has a decision win over him, a split decision win over him, and a knockout win over him. And that was a long time ago, guys. I can't even remember how long ago it was. I really didn't even know about it up until recently. But yes, after looking over those fights, they were both very, very close fights, very highly anticipated, highly contested fights going that went down. And yeah, Alex Pereira ended up getting the better of them. But now these two guys are meeting in Madison Square Garden this Saturday. So, how does the fight go down? Well, it's very interesting, guys, because let's go from Izzy's aspect. Izzy, he has been in a lot of boring fights, unfortunately. A lot of not close, but a lot of decision fights where he does everything to not get hurt and win the fight except for taking any risks. Now, I can understand and respect it 100%. You want to still remain champion. You don't want to go out there and leave yourself open to a shot that's going to put you out. So he has made himself very, very, he fights very, very safe, I guess is what you can say. He fights very, very safe. He keeps himself, uses long length, uses his long kicks, uses everything, all his reach and height to his full advantage. And yeah, he has not had a knockout ever since, I believe it was 2020, if I'm correct. And that was against Paulo Costa. But yeah, you look at Robert Whittaker, part 2, decision. Marvin Vettori, decision. Jared Cannonier, decision. So a lot of these have just been a very, very, how would you say it, slow, steady chess matches for Izzy. So now when he goes in here, he is able to use all his attributes, like his long arms, like his height, like his long kicks, his long legs. But now he's going against Alex Pereira, who is the exact same height, pretty much, and has the exact same reach. So that's saying a lot right there. That's just saying he's going to have to go into a new, different type of system, if you ask me, a new, different type of way of entering this fight. But here's another thing. Now with him, what I just mentioned about him possibly being in boring fights, which a lot of the fans have considered it being boring fights, is that going to play on his mind as well? Like, hey, you know what? I don't want my fans being very, very unappreciative of my talent, of my art. Because eventually we're just going to be like, hey, why am I going to watch this fight? Why am I going to want to watch another Israel Adesanya fight if I pretty much know he's just going to tap, 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 and then that's it, win a unanimous decision? Now, I get what a lot of people are saying. Well, it's the challenger's choice to go out there and get that victory. Yes, absolutely, you're right. You're 100% right. But at the same token, if you go in there with somebody that shouldn't even be in there with you, you should be able to dominate them regardless. But if you don't want to take that chance, then why are we going to take that chance on buying the pay-per-view? Why? Give me a reason. That's my personal opinion. Give me a reason why I should buy another one. So I can see a chess match or so I can see a war. Now, when no one's saying it has to be all the time war, but no one also saying it has to be all the time chess matches. We want to see what you can do. We want to see you battle it out. We want to see you be able to go out there and mix things up. So, be that as it may, is that going to play a big factor in his mind? Israel Adesanya going to this Alex Pereira fight, where is he not going to try to not fight as hard and not take as many chances and such? Is he really going to just go out there and go for that kill? Because not only is that going to play in his mind with the fact that he's already had 3 boring decisions, but is it going to play in the factor that he is going to now want to try his best to fight because he lost? Having that loss, having 2 loss, he knows he lost a decision. So he's used to winning decisions over all these other opponents. So now you got to wonder, is he going to win these decisions? So is he going to win a decision that opposed to someone that he has not had a decision win against? Now, is he going to go out there and fight this guy? Well, he went out there and fought him and got knocked out. So this is where everything plays a weird factor into all this. So it really makes me wonder. what is going to actually happen, what is actually going to transpire, and how Israel is going to approach this fight. And if my personal opinion, what I think of Israel, how he should do it, is also play it safe, but midway through, try your best to show that Alex Pereira, you're not afraid. Yeah, you're not afraid. Yeah, you did beat me twice, but that was in kickboxing. Welcome to the MMA. Welcome to the UFC. Welcome to the big leagues, and let me show you what I can actually do on my new weapons that I can actually do. He also has jiu-jitsu. I'm not sure how great he is at that. He has wrestling. He's always had really great takedown defense outside of the Jan Blachowicz fight, but he's always had that also in his back pocket. So yeah, there's a few different ways that Israel can go into this, but it really almost feels like odds are kind of stacked up against him if you really think about it, because of the fact that he has had some boring fights. So there's that pressure of trying to entertain, and then the fact that he already went to a decision with this guy and lost, and he already tried to fight this guy and he lost. So it really is really difficult for me to really think about how Israel Adesanya can overcome all this pressure that he has on his side. That's just my personal opinion regarding Israel's side. Alex Pereira's side, he's walking into this with no pressure. He's already only had like 6 MMA fights. He knocked out his recent opponent. I can't remember his name right now. It's drawing a blank on me. Sean Strickland. He knocked out Sean Strickland in very quick fashion. So he's looking very, very good. Now he goes in there with a win-win situation. If he goes in there and gets knocked out by Israel Adesanya or loses a decision to Israel Adesanya, he still wins, because we already know he wasn't supposed to be in there this quick. But they only put him in there because of the fact that the middleweights are not. There's really no contenders out there right now. There's really no top-level contenders out there in the middleweight division right now for Israel Adesanya. So you go in there and you look at trying to find something for Izzy to do, but unfortunately there's nothing left. So you give him his past foe, his past opponent, the opponent that just so happened to beat him, the opponent that just so happened to knock him out. So this is what builds a story for Israel Adesanya. So this is why we got this fight now instead of any other fight in the middleweight division, because he's already beat everybody in the middleweight division. So Alex Pereira is going in this. If he wins, it's great. It's really great for him, because he did something he already did, but now he did it in MMA, he did it in the UFC, and now he is middleweight champion. But if he doesn't, then guess what? Hey, you know what? He tried. He can always come back. He's in the middleweight division. He can go through any and all these other guys. But at the same time, again, it's not that knock on him. It's like, oh, well, maybe he's not that good. No, he just went in there pretty quickly. He went in there very, very quickly. Again, guys, he never really had that time to adjust in the UFC because of the fact that there's no other middleweights for Israel Adesanya to fight. So how can I see Alex Pereira winning this fight? Well, he needs to go in there and make it a dogfight, because there's only one person in the middleweight division that even came close to beating Israel Adesanya. I mean, I know Yoel Romero was pretty close with that close decision. Robert Whittaker Part 2 was probably a little close with that close decision. But the one that came close, the one that hurt Israel Adesanya, the one that made Israel Adesanya fight for his life was Kelvin Gastelum. And no one's ever done that yet. No one's actually went after him. Everyone's literally been afraid of his counter strikes and his chest movements. Everyone's been afraid of Israel Adesanya when it came to that. But Kelvin Gastelum went in there. He's like, I don't care if you're going to hit me. I don't care if you're going to counter strike me. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to beat the living crap out of you. And that's what he did. Unfortunately, he lost, but it was one hell of a fight. Great fight. One of my favorite fights of all time in the middleweight division. That's what Alex Pereira needs to do. And you know what? He has his size on his side. He has his length on his side. He has his reach on his side. He has all that on his side, because Israel Adesanya, like I mentioned before, he uses all those tools to his advantage. But right now, he ain't going to have that. So right now, what we can possibly have, guys, right here, it could be a very highly anticipated fight, but it could also be a very highly anticipated boring fight where these two guys are just waiting on the outside, one of them to counter. Because one of them goes in, the other one's going to counter strike. So I could possibly see it being a boring fight. I cannot possibly see it being a very highly impact action fight, because that's something that also Izzy could be a little afraid of. Not afraid, but not wanting to lose. He don't want to go in there and get counter strike, because he saw that what happened last time. He got knocked out. He doesn't want to wait too long, because if this guy goes in there and takes just a little bit more chances, he could squeak out the decision. So like I said, a lot of pressure on Israel's side. It's weird because the champion is supposed to have less pressure. The challenger is supposed to have all the pressure. You're supposed to go after the champion. But now with Izzy, he has a little bit more pressure because again, he wants to beat this guy. He doesn't want to show that, hey, I can't beat this guy. He wants to go out there and actually beat him. You know, he actually wants to do something about those 2 losses and avenge those 2 losses. So that's how I feel about what might go down in this fight with Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Now let me ask you guys this: what if Israel Adesanya wins? Well, depending on the win, if it's a really good win, knocks him out, I really feel Israel Adesanya should drop the belts, go. That's it. There is literally nothing left for him to do other than fighting guys who have like won one fight. Like Darren Till has a fight in December. He wins one fight against someone that's relatively unknown. Then what are you going to do? Give him a middleweight title shot? You already beat Derek Brunson very badly. He's already lost to a couple of opponents that you already beat. And then what we're going to do also for a third fight with Robert Whittaker that you already beat twice. There's nothing left for him to do in there. There really isn't. And honestly, I feel he's wasting his youth and his time trying his best to maybe recapture that greatness that Anderson Silva left behind. You know, Anderson Silva was a really great middleweight champion at one point. Obviously, I think he had like 10, almost 11 title defenses, somewhere around that length. But at that time, it was so stacked. Right now, the middleweight division isn't as stacked as it was prior. You know, and there wasn't as many foes as there was prior. You know, you look at that middleweight division back in the day. You know, the Rich Franklins, the Chris Liebens, the Patrick Cotes. You even had guys jumping up and down. You had Vitor Belfort. I know there was even Vanderbilt Silva in there. There was Dan Henderson. There was Michael Bisping. There was just so many lists. The list goes on and on and on of all these legends. Unfortunately, no disrespect to all these guys right now, but they're not in that same caliber. So my personal opinion for Izzy, if he wins this fight, he should go up to light heavyweight. Go again. Because what better matchup? You know, what better matchup? Right now they got that whole fight going on in December. But right now, when I look at those guys, I could see Izzy potentially being a light heavyweight champion. I could see him potentially be a double champ. He did go for it against Jan Blachowicz, but unfortunately he lost. And it was a close fight, but still, I don't think he gave himself enough time to develop and put himself in that light heavyweight category. He didn't give himself a chance to really fill into that. So if he busts a John Jones, wins his victory, takes the majority of 2023 off, and challenges for the light heavyweight championship, I really feel like he could win. And I feel like he can do a run in that division as well. And why that is actually very entertaining is because at that point, we can possibly even see a very highly anticipated fight. Because right now, it almost feels like we're not going to get this John Jones versus Francis Ngannou fight. There's so much being held up right there. I'm not sure. We could potentially get an Israel Adesanya versus John Jones fight. Now, if Israel Adesanya went in there against John Jones now, I believe John Jones would kill him. I believe so, because it's just he is so strong, he is so technical, he has all the attributes to beat Israel Adesanya. But with Israel Adesanya taking the time that he needs to bulk up and get used to going around like heavyweight and get used to that feeling, then yeah, I could really see him potentially giving John Jones a very tough matchup at light heavyweight. So that's my personal feeling. I do not want to see Israel Adesanya, if he wins, again at middleweight. I really, really don't. What if Alex Pereira wins at middleweight? Well, he, due to the fact that Israel Adesanya has been on this long run, he's won that championship since the first Robert Whittaker fight. He has to get automatic rematch, regardless. Even if he gets starched, even if he gets dominated, 100% just dominated, he has to get another rematch. Israel Adesanya has just been such a highly decorated champion. He has taken all challengers. He's never ducked anybody. He's never given an excuse to not fight somebody. He's always fought everybody, some of them twice over. Like Robert Whittaker twice. Marvin Vettori twice. You know, so he has literally fought everybody multiple times. Now, with that being said, yeah, you would have to give Israel Adesanya a rematch if Alex Pereira does win. And after that, we go from there. And then it's also a really good fresh start, like a good fresh breath there, because now we have some excitement in the middleweight division. Because sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when these guys do multiple title defenses, multiple, multiple wins and such, and they just completely run over the division gets stale. The division gets boring. You know, you hear about like, oh, well, this new Israel Adesanya versus somebody else. Now it's like, well, why? He already fought them. He's, a matter of fact, already beat them twice, and now what, he's going to do it a third time? No, it doesn't really bring us there. It doesn't really make us want to watch it again. It really doesn't. That's just my personal opinion, guys. But that's what I got so far with that. You know, you got this how Izzy is going to win, how Alex Pereira is going to win. Very tough fight. We got what could happen possibly what next for Izzy, what could happen possibly next for Alex Pereira. That is something very entertaining to see. I cannot wait. I honestly cannot wait. I'm very intrigued. I'm very much looking forward to this fight. Very much looking forward to it. I'm sure you guys are. So guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.